Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of In Our Humble Opinion. Yo. I'm Gilbert Cheah, and I'm happy to be back here again with my two crazy friends, Daisy Irani on my right.
Namaste.
And Chris Henson on my left.
I'm not crazy.
Crazy in a good way. So today, we are going to be talking about everything national. National Day just finished, so we're going to be looking at the National Day Parade, which has this year been deconstructed. We're going to look at National Day funpacks, which are going to be repurposed. We're going to look at national bad habits to be re-examined. And we're going to look at National Parks Board destroying illegal products. So everything national, everything Singaporean this week, that's what we're going to be talking about. And let's start with National Day, which just happened. So very strange year in so many ways, and certainly in the parade. You know, I have to say I take it off, my hat off, if I wore a hat, to the authorities and the people behind the talents and everyone to be able to go ahead with a celebration, a national celebration that really reached out into the heartlands of Singapore this year, instead of everyone trying to fight for tickets at one spot. What do you guys think about that? How did you react to the National Day Parade deconstructed and brought around the country? Chris?
It brought me back to my childhood days. If you recall, back in the 70s, usually we will wait for the contingents to march past, right? Along the streets where you live. And we'll wait along the main roads. I'll be with my grandmother. We'll be waiting for the mobile columns to go by and all that. And it was quite something. And I also remember that it always used to rain every National Day for years and years and years, when we were standing along on the sidewalk just waiting for the contingents to go by.
Back then, they marched through the streets, but it was the central business district. They didn't go into the heartlands.
No, they did. I remember back then, I used to live along Jalan Kembangan, and I would stand by the sidewalk. And you with my grandmother, and they would walk march past.
Wow!
There was also one NDP in the 80s, if my memory serves me correctly, where we actually had different parades in different stadiums in the constituencies.
Oh, okay.
As well, it was also split up, you know, and that was not a bad thing as well. But the big celebrations that happened, you know, also started in the 80s, where we had the old National Stadium. And you had I remember there was one where you had the 4 towers of the old National Stadium, the floodlight towers, that also became the birthday cake candles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was quite marvelous. That's how it all began.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was away for 20 years out of Singapore, so I missed all of that. But good to know. I didn't know that.
I was in school, and it was quite marvelous. Then I served my national service, and there was a Silver Jubilee celebration as well after NDP.
So you watched it every year then?
I was on duty.
Wow. And this year?
This year, well, I've got to be honest, no.
Okay. But I did watch it, and I want to say that, you see, ever since the time that Chris is
Where
talking
did you watch
to
it
us,
from?
At home.
Okay.
At home.
On TV?
On TV. On
okay.
a big...
All right.
And the thing is, I just felt that every year since the time you're talking about, Chris, NDP became a bigger and it became a spectacle, and it was always for the citizens and the outsiders to see our confidence, our progress, our nationalism, you know. And then because of the circumstances now, you know, the whole thing had to be, like you said, deconstructed, had to be pulled down. It had to be an economical performance that suited the occasion. So in that respect, I thought it was very innovatively done. And you know, I mean, the fact is that, yes, they did bring it down. Though I felt what was interesting is that they had a rapper. They tried to bring the youth in.
Yes.
So, you know, to give it different color, the races were there. But the most important thing that I felt was that for the first time, the parade was brought to the people. The people didn't have to go to watch the parade. And that was what was wonderful this time.
But I got to admit something. Though I didn't watch the proceedings on TV, okay, simply because, frankly, we've had a rough week, my whole family. All we wanted to do was vegetate, you know. But there were 2 things about this NDP that I will never forget, which I really loved and enjoyed. Did you guys see the report about somewhere, I can't remember where in Singapore, where you had the traffic police the mobile column go by, then the cop cars go by, and then you have the smaller, those guys, the TPs on the scooters go by, and then there was this food panda delivery guy behind the column. And he was waving.
Oh yes, exactly.
yes.
Part of
Yeah, because he was caught in it.
But then
unaware.
that's really going to the heartlands,
But you know
right?
what I
Yes.
loved about that? The people, Singaporeans sitting by watching the whole thing, and they cheered for him.
Yes, yes,
and,
exactly.
And to me, that was so good. We were able to relate. We were able to laugh at ourselves and found it so funny.
And that is the spirit.
Correct.
Yes.
That is the real spirit
that's
of,
what
inclusiveness.
That was one.
Yeah.
The second
Yeah.
thing I loved was this. Now, where I live, I was fortunate because we all knew. Okay, I didn't watch everything. I didn't watch the show either, but I knew that at a particular time that night, the fireworks were going to come on. So where I live, right, there's this huge reservoir in front of me, and when the fireworks went off, it was right in my face, right in front, and it was marvelous. But guess what? Clicks and clicks away towards the west side, I could see fireworks there too, and I figured probably that's somewhere in Ang Mo Kio. And you know what I realized? That the synchronicity of these fireworks were exactly the same. Whatever comes up here comes up there
Oh, wow.
at exactly the
computerized.
same time.
Amazing.
Correct,
Yes.
correct.
Yeah, it was marvelous. And then at the end of it all, the people in the neighborhood, we were all on our balconies watching. We were all clapping.
But I've sort of felt year after year, I watch the NDP. Year after year, the messaging is the same.
Yes.
Year after year, I sometimes feel that maybe the songs, the tonal quality also, frankly, I can't make out one song from the other, but then that's me. But what I do enjoy is bringing in different races, at the end of the day, I haven't seen a single NDP where you can say, oh, I didn't like it. The reason being that within you, while you're watching it, the feeling is very different. It is the loyalty, it is the love for your country.
So
you
I don't
see?
think it
So
was
you
a
just
play down.
love it,
I don't think
Yes.
it was played down. I wouldn't want to call it being played down. It was different, and it was refreshingly different. It
Right.
was something
Yes.
that
Right,
everyone
right.
could relate to.
And maybe this mobile column is something that we should keep,
Yeah.
even though
That's the thing about it is it really goes into the heartland so that people are able to access it and see it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, but you know what I didn't like was post NDP, when you have certain netizens who actually commented that, does this show unity? All these military vehicles. I said, what's wrong with people
oh,
today?
please, I know, really, these people.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
What's wrong with
understand.
people
Yeah.
today?
No, what has unity got to do with the?
They're saying that
these are
basically
war
shouldn't
machines.
be showing off war machines
Yeah.
like tanks into the heartlands and all of that.
The
So-
people forget, we are a tiny
But what is-
country.
Yes.
No, but what is
Yeah.
the meaning of the word parade? That is a National Day parade around
Yeah,
the
we
world.
just have
exactly.
We've got
miserable
Independence
people.
Day.
Yes.
Yeah, but miserable people who think this way.
Yeah, yep.
I
Everything also complained. That's
Yeah,
the,
exactly.
yeah.
To me, I'm proud of it. I'm proud to see our military vehicles, our
Yeah.
SAF, what the SAF can offer, right?
Yeah.
Because look, we, as men, as males, we served.
Yeah, exactly.
And it made me, every time I see that, to me, there's a lot of pride that I've actually served.
Yes.
I've wore the uniform and I served. And-
Absolutely.
And we're a tiny little
Yes.
country.
Yes.
If we cannot defend ourselves,
ourselves,
no
yeah.
one
Yeah.
will do it
Yeah,
for us.
absolutely.
If that's not unity, if that doesn't call for unity,
Yeah.
then what does?
Exactly. I think that sometimes some of these people maybe look too much to the West for their
Yeah.
examples
Yeah.
and are very anti-military because there's this pacifist movement in the
Yes,
US
yes.
says that we don't want tanks
but,
and all of that.
But for
Yeah.
for in India, we have our Independence Day now on August 15th. And what is it? It's the same.
Yes.
There is it shows the country's strength,
Yes.
the power, we are here. This is what we will
But-
do for you.
But in the US, it
Confidence.
isn't. Yes, exactly.
Wait.
So-
I'm sorry. I spotted something you said just now. that India on August 15 just had their own Independence Day?
We do. We
you say-
have the
again,
but I'm saying
Not the same date.
Yeah, not the day. What I'm trying to say is when we have in January, I mean in India
Who's
and
we?
many other countries in India.
No, who's we? Who's we you're referring to?
No, what I'm trying to say is the Indian diaspora, the Indian citizens.
Yeah, not you lah.
No, but I am Indian. I'm
But-
Singaporean.
Okay.
But even then, it's like respecting the culture. My roots are Indian. I've been there. I've
Okay.
watched it. What I'm trying to say is the feeling that you get when you watch your, the military going past, the defense. There's a feeling of confidence and
Yes.
strength and pride, and even though we are a little red dot, and I say we again because I'm Singaporean.
Yeah.
Yes, you yet feel. Just watching
Yes.
it go by.
Yes.
So it's not about
So-
comparing with other countries.
I'm
Yeah.
just
You know?
trying to figure out what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
No, now you
because
figured it out,
She's
right?
originally from India, now Singaporean, so
Okay.
she has dual identity.
No,
Okay.
and
That's
the
kind of
fact
like-
of the
yeah.
matter is it's all a part of you, right?
Yes, yes,
I mean, I'm not
absolutely.
going to discard
No,
something.
I'm not.
because
I'm
I
not.
feel
I'm not
it does.
disrespecting you. I'm
Yeah.
just
No, I feel the
curious.
disrespect.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel
yeah.
the disrespect.
No.
Across
Okay,
the-
so now, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you're acting
ladies
damn
and
good,
germs.
man.
Okay. We move on to another issue which is related to this, the National Day Fun Packs, which again drew the ire of a lot of people who were very irritated that there was going to
Why?
be fun packs.
Why?
Remember this? There was
Yes,
a
yes, yes.
petition.
That
Yes.
one. Okay.
Yes, there was a
Yes.
petition.
There was a petition
Yes.
to not have
To
fun
not
packs.
have fun packs.
Honestly, when you look at the news sometimes and you look at all of the catastrophes and difficulties and suffering of people all over the world, and they've got legitimate horrible things happening, and then you look at Singapore and Singaporeans are writing a petition that they do not want the government to give them a fun pack, you really have to sit back and think to yourself, are these people that bored? I mean, you really,
Gilbert, I think you need to sit down and take another deep breath because I was one of those that signed the petition.
Were you
Okay.
really that bored that you
wasn't
had to
bored, but
sign the
no.
petition?
Please be open about what I'm about to say.
Okay, go ahead.
Because don't forget, at that point in time, right? I think we were on lockdown. We were on circuit breaker. And my opinion, speaking solely for myself, I'm not going to speak for the rest who signed the petition, okay? It's about, hey, why don't we just take all that in the same spirit as this, the redistribution, and do something with the money. It could have easily gone to maybe businesses that could be in trouble, or the monies could go to the poor guys in the dorms, that were stuck. The whole stretch of a couple of months of them being tested, correct? So that was the spirit of it. But now with this redistribution of these fun packs and now become gratitude packs, it's working.
Yeah. Okay, but hang on. First of all, I think it's important to note that the cost of the fund packs was not borne by the government at all. It was by private companies who use it as an advertising medium. Let me give out free can of this or free what,
Sure.
And that was the thing. And then when people found out that, they said, wow, this is actually really good. But then they got angry because the government only made for 80% of the population, not 100%, taking into consideration the
ones who signed.
petition. Yes, seriously.
Okay.
And then people got angry, saying, "Why am I not getting it?" And I remember reading people saying, "Am I not entitled to change my mind? So what if I said I didn't?"
So the
want
question
it?
is to you, Chris. Did you get your back?
Oh,
your
that's a
national-
good question because actually what happened. No,
Or
this
did you
doesn't-
say
this
no?
doesn't-
I've signed for it and I will not.
But I want to say that at the end of it all, this opinion of mine does not necessarily make me any less Singaporean or patriotic,
Yeah, of
or
course,
any less
not at all,
patriotic.
not at all. Yeah,
I went.
no one even suggests that. Now.
I didn't collect my
I'm
fun
going to
pack.
hear the whole thing and decide.
I didn't. Microphone's gonna fly today. Okay. No, don't worry about it. No, I wouldn't do stuff like that. I didn't think about it, to be honest. My mom was the one that said, "Hey, listen, go get your fun pack." I said, "Okay, Mom, whatever, And then she said, "I tell you what, because we meet every Sunday for lunch, right? It's something that we do as a family all the time. So when I came to pick them up, my mom said, 'Hand me your IC.' I said, Why? Whatever for? I'm going to collect the fun pack for you. I said, Mom, it's fine. No, I'm collecting it for you. And she actually went to pick it up for me.
Oh.
So, to answer your question, I have the fun pack. It just I didn't bother about it. Because I did take a look at what's inside. It's not bad. Yeah, the masks are cool, right? And yeah, of
I
course
like the bag.
We can.
The bag was.
But
I didn't see it.
But
so-
usually
different
we don't.
choices
You
of
get one?
bags. Oh yes.
Oh, you got one. Okay.
Usually, you have to understand why. Back in the years when I was in service, I did do my duty, right? Burn weekends and all that kind of stuff, and I suppose that was one NDP that I really gave it all, and after that I've been watching them on TV, but this year no, because honestly we just wanted to vegetate.
Yeah.
But we did enjoy the fireworks, and I did enjoy reading about
But
the
the
guy.
show, the televised show, in addition to the parade, the televised show was very nice and was very well received by a lot of people.
Yeah,
I think
so I've heard,
Royston
yeah.
did a great job with that.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, with and Dick Lee, of course, was on the host and
He was,
singing.
yeah,
And,
he was singing.
yeah, singing.
Would you expect
Actually,
anyone else?
Quite.
Right.
No, yeah.
with
that's the
Hassan
point.
and
Okay, would you expect someone else as well?
But we have a small talent pool in Singapore.
Yeah.
No, we have a large talent pool in Singapore. There's
And that's why we
hardly
saw
left
some-
untapped.
Correct. No, and we did
Okay,
see some new
point
faces,
to note,
which was
people
good.
in power. You got a willing. Actually, he's a very good singer.
Oh,
If you
thank
haven't
you.
had him on for
It's
any
not just me. It's
stuff,
a lot.
yeah.
There's so many talented people in Singapore. So many. It's just that for some
Maybe
reason.
for the National
You know-
Day show, they want recognized
No,
faces.
exactly.
So that the auntie
So
at
I
home
was-
will
no.
say, won't say,
It's
hey, who is this?
No, see,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm saying. Some like you watch one, you watch them all because it's so MediaCorp. Like, okay, we get this recognized face.
But
we
I heard
we
this
get the
year
other
was much
recognized
more
face.
diverse, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
tell me about
I think,
it.
No, I
Because
think,
you've been mentioning names that we all hear all the time.
They've got the names that were on that we didn't know who they were. I can't mention. Seriously. But there were a lot of people. And that's why my mom and my aunts were saying, Siapa ni? Who's this? Apa ni?
So good. So it's a start. I think it's a good
Yeah,
start.
yeah.
We need to, because I'm an advocate for ensuring that hidden talents come out in the open.
Absolutely.
no,
I think
actually,
that's very important.
I just want to say that there was a part of the whole evening where they were actually cutting to our people, citizens, the frontline worker, or people who have been involved and fighting COVID,
No, that's cool.
and helping and the
Yeah.
essential.
Yeah.
And I think those statements, as they were making, they were talking, they
The
were
saluting.
sharing.
Yes, was very real.
That
Yes.
is what touched
Yeah,
you more.
yeah.
Because you're right. We know all the artists, even the songs, like I said, the messaging
Yeah.
is the same. We love you, Singapore. What can we do for you, Singapore?
Yeah.
Singapore, Singapore, Singapore.
Yeah.
Great. But when you see real people
Yeah.
who you actually say, who is this? Who is this?
Yeah.
But when they talk, it sounds like us.
Yeah, of course.
It's the
Absolutely.
real thing. And
Yes.
that
And
was very
It's
touching.
a reminder of
Yes.
who Singaporeans
Yeah,
are.
and
I-
what they
Yeah.
did, in fact, there was like one segment where, for example, they had the Singapore Airlines air stewardess who was told to go to Wuhan on the first flight to get, and she knew that the chances of her coming back with maybe infection, because so many
Yeah,
people in that plane,
course.
but no, they did not say no. They said we are needed,
Yeah.
and that we are needed. We are Singapore. That
Yeah,
when
that's
that
the
comes
human
out,
side
yeah, you
of-
feel very good. You
I
see.
think the gesture
That,
of
yeah.
the soldiers, were they soldiers who saluted to the frontline
Yes,
workers?
yes,
That
yes.
was
They were
fantastic
very, very
because that means a
great.
lot. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
It means
absolutely.
a lot. Yeah. So coming back, Gilbert, to
yeah.
the
So the
fun
fun packs
yeah.
now.
Oh, sorry,
So
the fun
basically, they're
packs.
saying there is a movement now, which I think is fantastic. It started by a good space, which is a co-op that brings together individuals and companies for charitable causes. They're saying take the fun pack. Basically, you've already got your items, but use the bag and add in stuff that we can then redistribute to the migrant workers. And I have to mention this because I read this online when. Again, another person complaining said, why are we doing so much for the migrant workers?
Sure.
Why do we have to keep giving them stuff? I'd like to just remind this person and others like that that
Gosh.
the migrant workers are quarantined. They're not allowed to leave. They're not like you and me that we can step out of the house wearing a mask anytime, go to the supermarket or the wet market or wherever it is. These people really are dependent on anything that we give them, basically. They cannot go to the supermarket. They cannot go out anywhere. They're quarantined and they've been quarantined for months. So, this is a gesture of kindness, which I'm fully in favor of.
You know what, Gilbert?
right?
These kind of people who make this kind of noise, this kind of noise about this kind of things, I really think they fell on their heads when they were babies. You know what I mean? What's
Yeah.
wrong with the misery bloody needs companies?
Absolutely, I agree.
It's
I totally
ridiculous.
agree,
I just don't understand this whole thing about these poor guys. Without them, now, damn grass. No one can
Yeah.
cut the grass. You've noticed? Did
You can
notice?
already see the repercussions when we don't have
Yeah,
the
but now
construction
it's getting
people.
better because most of them are back out to
by
work,
work,
right?
yeah, exactly.
I mean, think about that. Who the heck does all these things for you? Because you're not going to be the one doing it.
Absolutely.
For me, I feel that COVID, the CB, the COVID, suddenly the Singaporeans have just come together because, like you said, this pack is just one of the initiatives.
Yes.
Hey, don't say
I
CB
mean-
there. CB
Well,
bad word lah. Just say circuit breaker can.
Okay, can. But you thought
can stand for many
but
things.
you thought I said a bad word, right? I mean, because your mind,
It can
you
stand for
thought,
many
okay,
things,
but I'm going to
absolutely.
go away from that.
So we are- we
and
are-
talk about the
yes.
good things.
Yes.
And again, what I felt this time was that, it was one thing like you brought up about these people complaining, but I do feel that during this time, all these initiatives are right.
Yes.
Having said that, I also want to feel that as we move on next year after that, that we stop feeling guilty. What has happened, and the responsibility once again needs to be taken by the companies that look after the dorms, who look after the labor.
Because they are already making changes right
Correct.
now.
And
which I
that
think are
should
important.
continue.
So about this fun pack here, basically, some of the suggested items that
Yeah.
you can give away would
Yeah.
be hand sanitizers, kettles, portable chargers, masks,
This kettle
or
is going to go
earphones.
into that bag.
Good question. I don't know how big that bag was. You got one.
It's
you
actually
got one.
quite, it's
one,
actually
but
quite sizable.
quite sizable.
You
It
can
is,
put in
yeah.
the
Yeah.
kettle
And you can put all
the
the other items in the kettle and put it in the bag.
Yeah, but I think we should also, Gilbert, tell people about not what not to put
Yes,
into
yes,
the
yes,
bags,
yes.
because there are a lot of monkeys out there who just can't bloody read. So let's tell them instead.
Okay.
What you cannot put in the gratitude pack would be things like fresh fruits or anything else that spoils without any refrigeration. Any non-halal food products, for example, canned luncheon meat and pork. Dirty or expired products and items, for example, dirty kettles. So don't be monkey
Yes,
people
don't-
things that
yes, you don't
know,
want.
Come on, used underwear for
It's
crying
not.
out
It's
loud.
not to give
you know?
away
Yes.
and get
Yeah,
rid
yeah.
of stuff.
It's not
Used
a-
masks or expired masks and
Yes.
expired hand sanitizers or spoiled phones or open expired food.
Can I ask?
May the fleas of 1,000 camels infest the hairs in their armpits for people who do stuff like
No, but
that.
can I ask
That's
you,
a horrible thought.
as Singaporeans sitting here?
Ini katal.
Nah, yeah. No, but I'm just saying, as Singaporeans sitting here, do we really think that this actually needs to be said again?
You will
Unfortunately,
be so surprised.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes. I have seen before
Yeah.
because I went to the Salvation Army to give away stuff. They have a bin there that you can drop off
Yes,
stuff.
yes, and I've
I've
seen some
looked
of-
inside the bin and I've been appalled because I saw a bag full of what was obviously used underwear that was
Oh,
dropped
good
inside there.
grief.
And you gotta think about the quality of the mentality of these people that give away something like that. It's so unfortunately they
Yes.
may be a minority.
So maybe
but
you're
it needs-
planning to give it and you're like, oh damn, no
Yes.
underwear. I'm not going to put it in. Take that bag away.
Yes.
I've seen people who go to those Salvation Army, for example, and they dump stuff there.
Yeah,
That's
that's where I went.
completely
At Bukit
useless.
Timah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the one, I'm not going to say where, but I've done. My son, I'm making a point for my son, the two of us, to get rid of his old stuff, but things that still look good, and still works.
Yeah.
And I'll bring him there.
Oh, good.
To I do this as often as I can with him, even when we're on holiday. So we give the homeless. We
Oh,
cook
good.
food for
Yeah.
them, give to the
I think
homeless
it's
on
important
Christmas
for
Day and
children
all
to
that kind of stuff.
understand this
Yeah.
and learn
But
this.
a lot of adults in Singapore don't
Yeah.
get this.
Yeah.
But anyway, 31st of August would be the last day to contribute stuff in your SG Gratitude Pack. And there are collection points everywhere across the island: Central, Yishun, Bedok, Bukit Timah, Choa Chu Kang, Ang Mo Kio, Sembawang, Pasir Ris, island-wide. There's a pickup service offered as well. So please, just make sure, that if you decide from the goodness of your heart to give away good stuff, just go and check this out, SG Gratitude Pack drop-off points, and do this by the 31st of
And
August.
I just want to say I love the name Gratitude Pack. It's
yes.
very, it
Yes.
just touches you,
Yes. So, going now from good initiatives like this to bad habits of our national population. And this is something which I find very interesting because, in the US where I lived for a long time, when you eat at a food court, it is just second nature to clear your table. It's called busking your tray. In college, when we eat in a cafeteria, we busk our tray. You're bussing it away and you carry it away. I was surprised in Singapore to see that a lot of people do not clear their trays, they leave it there. So this has become a kind of a bit of a national debate now because now it's come up again in discussion about because there are people who have said online that we should not be doing this because it will deprive the cleaners of a job. Okay, so
Mana the logic lah, this one. I don't understand.
So it's the same thing as saying that I need to litter because if I don't litter, then the street cleaners won't have a job.
Now, Gilbert, how about I really need to get sick because if I don't get sick, what are the doctors and the nurses going to do?
Yes. Exactly, ridiculous. So what's important is that the NEA has heard this so often that they've actually put this on their website and made issued a statement. So for those of you who still are discussing this online and still believe this, because I still see it on Facebook discussions with people saying, no, do not clear the trays. You're taking jobs away from the NEA says, all right. The comment that clearing one's litter or trays will deprive cleaners of their job is false and is a mere excuse for not cleaning up after oneself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Cleaners will still have cleaning tasks to perform at the tray return points or centralized dishwashing stations and can better focus on cleaning tables.
So
You know what I think? I mean, look.
So are they trying to show that we are being kind? And by not cleaning up, by being unhygienic and allowing
what's
pests.
really awful is that you often see them with the food scraps. They spat that up. They chewed on the bones. They spat it out. Use tissues all over, and the cleaners have to pick up all of this. And the NEA says basically here that leaving soiled tissues, wet wipes, and food scraps behind make their cleaning jobs more difficult. So you're not helping the cleaners.
Exactly. Yeah, this is where I'm going to tell you when I go back home later, right? I need to throw away this underwear. Because for the second time in this show, my underwear is on fire.
It's burnt.
That was what the
No, really.
smell of
The
char siu, I thought.
What char siu? Bak kwa, brother. Okay, anyway.
Bak kwa, yes. Sweet meat.
Okay.
Oh,
Gilbert, you're getting my disease. I'm infectious.
Both
That's
of
terrible,
you,
I'm
I'm
telling you.
disowning both of you. I'm on my own show here, totally separately. I don't know
I'm
these
sorry,
two guys.
I don't know.
Daisy-
This guy
I don't
is
know these two guys.
contagious.
Hello?
Daisy has just severed her umbilical cord with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm not going
So your underwear is on fire, so
Yeah.
go ahead with
No,
that.
yeah. Because come on, look. Shouldn't we as people think about not making the task of cleaners even more unpleasant?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Just basic human courtesy and
I can
kindness.
tell you for a fact, and I shouldn't say, let me just be a little bit cryptic about this. I had a call late last night to give a voice demo for NEA's campaign about this. I'm not saying I don't know whether I got it, but they asked me to.
So they actually have a campaign about this.
Coming up,
okay,
and it's
good.
kind of interesting because I'm not going to say too much because I've got I saw part of the script and I had to do a demo for it, and it's kind of interesting. But if in my humble opinion, I hope I'm not going to lose a job because of what I'm about to say. We should be talking more about along the lines of, hey, Singaporeans, this is just the right thing to do. It should be about that. It should be about doing the right thing.
I'm just amazed at the resistance to it. Even after NEA comes up with this, and it's still ongoing, there's so much resistance to this,
Yeah.
It's just, are we all really that spoiled? Someone
Yes.
once said this, which I thought was interesting. They said many Singapore men have never washed a plate in their lives because their plates have been washed by maids, by mom, and then they get married and it's washed by the wife.
Wait, I tell you,
Oh dear.
Wait, let's qualify that properly, You and me are
Many,
men too, Wait.
Many, not all. Not all.
Wait. This is where I'm going to say, on my last day serving the army. Now, that's not NS. I'm talking about as an NS man. Okay? ROD, not ORD. That means quite old
Reservist.
already, lah.
Yes,
Going
yes,
to completely run out date, right?
Yeah.
So we had to go back to our camp to do a parade and ROD properly. Yeah. So before that, they gave us a good lunch. And lunches in army camps today are like wow, woo.
Wow.
As compared to our
Compared to
day.
back
yeah?
then, yes, at
yeah.
Tekong.
Back then, heck. Oh my.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not go there.
Ghost and bad food. That's what I remember.
Yes. But anyways, but at the end, because being old soldiers, we were so used back in the day, in the active time, where we get our trays, and those were metal trays back. Now it's plates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Now
The
it's
metal
bags.
trays compartmentalized.
Yeah. It's like when the Komala Villas and you got
Yeah,
those
yeah,
trays,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So we had to carry it in a particular way, carry our mugs out for our water mugs, the green
Yeah.
mugs with a fork and spoon, right there against the handle, and we walk up to get our food like this, right? And we had to wash those trays. Now back then, there's this person on duty, the COS,
Yes,
the,
yes.
the company orderly sergeant,
Orderly sergeant.
who will check and make sure that it's clean.
Yes.
And he'll run his finger down to see whether
Yes,
it's oily or
yes,
not.
yes.
And we had to wash it or rewash it if we have to, right? And dry it, and then we put it back into the tray areas or compartments. But on that day, when we were going for our ROD parade and being old soldiers already and not going to be soldiers anymore,
Yeah.
we were shocked. Because when we went to the washing
To
point
wash the plate.
to wash the plates, there were little old aunties dressed, all dressed up, and they're
who do
washing it for
For
you.
you.
You know what
Wow.
we did? You know what we did? We went, no, auntie, sorry, we'll wash our own plates. No, it's my job. No, auntie, we'll wash our own plates because you're someone's mom.
Yeah.
You're someone's mother. Someone else's mom washing my plate?
Yeah.
No. And we refused. And we just couldn't understand. What's happening?
So what is it now?
Now they wash it for you. As a
So that-
soldier.
yeah.
And I think if you you're right,
Yeah.
but I would say that it's more the younger lot of guys who've been through national service this way, where someone else washes your plate for you.
And
yes.
carries your bag
Exactly.
for you.
Oh Lord,
Well,
let's
that
not
one's a
go
helper.
there, man.
But you know that
Let's not
company
go there.
orderly sergeant, I have a funny quick story about that. I remember because I was in Tekong, I was in BMT, and you get food and they don't want you to waste. So you have to stand in a queue to go and empty all of
Yeah.
the scraps.
Yeah.
And this, I didn't plan this, right? I had gotten some meat or something which I didn't like. I ate a bit, I spit it back into the tray. Then when I was leaving, I had to go to the toilet. So I told this guy in front of me, I said, hey, don't mind, you clear for me. So I scraped all my food onto his tray, and
Oh, God.
he put my tray under his to wash it for me, and I ran off. And when he got to the thing there, I remember the sergeant pointing, "Oh my God, this food!" And he said, "Not mine." What do you mean not yours? You eat now.
Oh
The poor guy had to
Oh,
eat.
ew!
Whoever you are, I don't remember who you are. I never forgot that sacrifice that you did for me, and I feel so bad after all these years because he was a bespectacled, skinny boy.
You horrible fuck.
Eating. I know it's
Oh,
awful.
but when you came out of the toilet, did you own up and say it's
No, because
not
they
only-
already cleared already by then. I was already because it was a queue and I already gone
Yes,
out of
yes,
it. And I saw him like that, having to eat my leftover
no.
char siu or pork. Or
I
whatever.
own
It was just awful. I know it's awful.
No, good. At
Even
least
for
you are
me, it
thanking
was-
him now.
Yes, I'm thanking
Thank
you, whoever
you.
you are. I hope
Thank
you
you
did
so much.
was okay.
How
basically.
was Gilbert's spittle? Okay.
It's something I wouldn't eat back my own food, much less this poor guy. But I hope Buddha blessed you,
Moving along.
Yeah, moving
Yes.
along. Okay, so bad habits. Hopefully, people that will end, and hopefully, Chris, you will get the campaign. Okay, which I think is very important.
I hope so too.
Yeah. So,
And tell them loud and clear that this is not acceptable.
yes. So on a nicer story,
Yes.
basically.
The octogenarian.
Yes,
the grandfather
this
who
grandfather.
plays the national anthem on
he-
the Singapore flag.
I don't know how this worked, but he took the Singapore flag and basically drilled holes into the flagpole. And he's got 60 years of experience with the flute, so he knew where to put the holes, I guess. And he played the national anthem on this, and it went viral. It's on YouTube. quite interesting. I mean,
He played the modula on the
Yes.
flute. Apparently, he made holes. In
Yes.
right? And he's been playing the flute for what, 60
years. Well, he's a
man?
flautist,
But you
right? Is
see,
that what you
Yeah.
call it, a
this
flautist?
is
A flautist.
Yeah.
patriotism expressed in the most beautiful way.
Yeah.
I mean, there are big gestures and small gestures, but this,
but it's kind of cool, man.
really takes it away.
Yeah.
And apparently he plays the, what's the Chinese instrument called?
Yeah, erhu.
The
Erhu, that's
the
right.
erhu,
Erhu,
and
yes.
guitar as well.
So those
Well,
are
you're
also-
musical. I mean, you can do something like that.
Yeah. Don't get me in trouble now.
I heard people can play
Next
songs on
year,
their teeth.
Yeah. No, you
Oh.
can do a lot of things.
Yeah.
You just sang this Bollywood song
It's got
just
different,
now.
yeah. Okay.
So you're talented.
Oh,
Yes,
thank you so
yes,
much. Yeah,
talented.
but I will not. I don't play instruments.
Okay. So
You've got 1 year to practice.
from the
this.
nice uncle, now we will have this interesting story about 9,000 kgs of ivory that had been seized in Singapore. They're going to be crushing this into powder and destroying it by NParks. Interesting that NParks is the one in charge of this. Not quite sure why. Maybe someone out there could enlighten us, basically. But $18 million worth of ivory, seized ivory. Obviously, for background information, according to the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, the tusk of elephants is a terrible trade. I mean, it's been something that's been going on, and now, of course, governments everywhere are clamping down on that.
Yeah.
Poaching.
Poaching and the killing of elephants for their task. And although it came from elephants, now the term of ivory is being used to describe any tooth or tusk obtained from mammals, which are of commercial interest. So I think it's great that NParks is doing this, or the authorities are doing this, to send a signal, because Singapore is a big entry port city.
Yeah.
So these are destined for other countries like Vietnam, where they are still used for various purposes, illegal
Is
purposes.
it medicinal?
I don't know about ivory. I know rhinoceros horn is, but if the rhinoceros horn
yeah.
is under the ivory, then it would be.
Then what-
I don't even want to use the term medicinal, because it really has no proven medicinal effects. It's superstition, basically.
Okay. I mean, but
Yeah,
but
yeah, I
as
understand
far
what
as-
you mean.
as
Yes.
far as
Yes.
people
Yeah.
The elephant,
consider-
Yeah.
the elephant tusk, there's a lot of jewelry that is
Yeah,
created.
yeah.
Is it more
exactly.
for
That
jewelry?
is-
I want to understand
yeah,
the reason
yeah.
why
Yeah.
poachers go after them, because what
Because
do
people are willing to pay
what's
for it.
consumerism about where this is
Exactly.
concerned?
And
Yeah.
that's why I'd really like to say that we have to treat the ivory problem like we treat the drug problem.
Yeah, but what's it used
So-
for? I mean, is it
no.
used for
No.
jewelry? Besides that, is there anything else? Is it-
Ivory, elephant tusks is mainly jewelry. Is mainly and I mean object the arts, they make all these
Yeah.
beautiful pieces. I mean, they're really beautiful. But when you now get educated and think about where they're coming from, and you're crushing those elephants and the animals, I mean, the only place a tusk can belong to is on the elephant itself and nowhere else.
Yeah, okay, so according to this, basically, is that ivory itself, if you're talking about elephant ivory, is used just for decorative purposes.
Correct. And
billet
And they
balls,
kill
handles.
so many.
Yeah, it's awful. In the matter of piano and organ keys, I guess that's where ivory come from.
But
you know?
jewelry.
Piano keys, really?
Yeah. For a long while, the piano keys were. That's why they call
But
them
not
ebony and
anymore,
ivory.
right?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
But jewelry,
Yeah.
in certain customs, on the wedding, when you get married, for the wedding trousseau, they give you an ivory bangle, which has got little, gold in it. So it's
Yes,
ivory and
yes.
gold. And it becomes like a part of the whole custom, the tradition. Now, when those kind of customs remain, that's where the damage starts. So it's important for us at this very moment to say, no, I do not want ivory in my trousseau, or no,
Yes,
I am
yes.
not
You
going
just
to
weave
use
a
this.
bangle, weave a bracelet, put on there Guns and Roses, something, then give it for
No,
dowry or
because
what?
we really need a kick-ass strategy, to solve this problem.
Yes, yes.
Because, like I said, you treat it like a drug problem.
Yeah,
Hear me out. So just like in drugs,
It is.
when you
I mean,
sell
yeah,
the drug,
yeah.
even the person who's buying it is prosecuted,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The point should come where, you know what, if you buy it, you
It
are
is.
going
It
to...
is illegal to buy it. Yeah.
Yeah,
also, yeah.
But you know, many countries, I mean, wherever the shipment was going to,
Yes.
to Vietnam, you know.
It is illegal. So that was what I see. So basically, you cannot legally import it into Vietnam or any other countries because they've all signed the international
Yeah,
agreement.
that's what I'm saying. So it's
basically.
like drugs, right?
So it is.
So
yes.
let us say you make a raid and you find out that people are buying it.
Yes.
There should be
So
responsibility.
interestingly enough, that next year it will be illegal also to sell ivory in Singapore. Because up till right now, up till next year, you can still sell ivory in Singapore if you can prove that the product was before 1990 and it's old stock, basically. So,
I think a kick-ass way to stop this, but it will never happen, is to have Tarzan.
Okay, I
Let
think
me
I
tell
think
you,
we're
I
coming
need
to
to
an
share
end
this.
here.
and
No,
have
I need to share.
Tarzan go talk to
Okay.
all the elephants in elephant language and tell them, you see these damn poachers, just stomp on those bastards.
No, you
No,
know,
but I
it's,
tell
it's
you-
terrible. They shoot them from afar. It really is cruel.
No,
It's
when I
something
was
very-
No, I've
living
seen
in Hong
those. It's
Kong,
horrible.
When
I
I was
don't
living,
like it.
Yeah.
When I was living in Hong Kong, I remember going to the contemporary arts and crafts, and I went in, and that's the first time I saw the hall
Yeah.
was filled with the most beautiful pieces.
Yes, yes.
And when you look at that piece at that time, you just see the beauty
Yes,
of the
of course,
piece,
yes.
and a part of you wants to own it.
Yes.
Now you realize every time you see a
Absolutely,
piece,
yeah.
you see the elephant dying,
Yes.
you're going to stop
Yes.
looking at
and
the
you know the
pieces
thing
this
is,
way. You
those
know?
artisans, they're talented. They can carve other things. They do not need to
Yeah,
carve
absolutely.
ivory,
But-
basically.
Okay, but let me ask you,
But it's the
along the same
value.
vein,
Yes.
you
along the
know.
same vein, I just want to say this one last thing. Along the same vein as ivory tusks and all that, right? Elephant tusks that make them, you turn them, I mean, it's ivory. Shark's fin. I think we should also do something about that too.
But I think
Yeah.
it started. The
No, no, no,
education
no.
has started.
Making education,
so
but,
many
but
weddings.
it's still, it's not illegal.
Yeah, but so many
Isn't it?
weddings.
I thought-
I know.
They
I know
are
most
the
hotels
couple.
have stopped.
Yeah, the couple says we don't
But
want
there are
it.
still some places that still do sell
So it
shark's
starts
fin.
from
Yeah.
you as an individual. You say, no, not for my wedding. I don't want an ivory bangle. Not for my wedding. I don't want shark's fin soup. I think we have to come down to that point.
But I think it's not much of a problem here in Singapore about where ivory is concerned. It's just that it's what Gilbert said. We're entrepot,
Well, okay,
port.
just very quickly to wrap up here, Member of Parliament Louis Ng asked Singapore's Prime Minister in a tabled question if they could ban shark's fin, and basically Parliament dismissed the politician's call to ban shark's fin from private events. So maybe you can talk about this in another show. Very
Yeah, it's a
interesting,
good idea,
basically.
right, huh?
Yes,
Good idea, huh?
definitely. So
Yeah.
that's it for this week. We have to wrap up here. A lot of stuff about the nation and National Day. So thank you very much for joining us, Chris and Daisy. Last words, last thoughts.
Wow, that came suddenly.
Yeah. Well, whilst you're thinking of the last
Yes,
thought,
Daisy.
I'm going to give mine
Yes.
because it's been about
Omar
National
Khayyam
Day.
quote.
Yes, the quote today is from Anne-Marie Slaughter,
Oh,
and
okay.
because we were talking about National Day, I'm going to say about the cleaners, and I'm going to just say that patriotism demands the ability to feel shame as much as to feel pride. So remember, it all matters. Whether you clean your old plate or you clap for your people as the mobile column goes. It's all about patriotism and nationalism.
Absolutely.
Despite everything that we've discussed here today about how crazy some of us can be, in terms of how some people would just go out there and question about the foreign workers here in Singapore. All I want to say is that I know Singaporeans, majority of us, we all have a quiet kindness. When it comes to the very core things, we would respond kindly and generously. We have done so in the past. And now with the gratitude packs, quietly go do it, sure. But I'm sure we will fulfill that.
Yes.
And we will put in items that would be sensible, and it will be useful, and and these guys will find them, that these things are definitely things that they would need to use. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So don't forget, we have till August 31st to do
Yes.
something about our gratitude packs.
Yes.
So guys, just go out there and just have it done.
Yes,
All
and
right.
just be kind. Stop complaining so much and spreading misery and toxicity around.
Yeah, lah, Daisy,
basically.
stop complaining, lah, you.
Especially those people online, you know who you are, basically. Thank you very much for joining us. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. Give us your thoughts about this, and do subscribe to the video or the Spotify and iTunes podcast. Thank you all.
In our humble
You sure you
opinion.
covered all
Yes,
of that?
that's right. I think the list is too long where we are.
Yeah.
So thanks very much, guys
Okay, see you guys.
and ladies. Thank you.
See you guys next
Yep.
time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yep.